As I was going away from that poster, 4 boys came running and said, Swami's calling you. I had a suitcase, I didn't care. I don't know. I just followed the boys, and Baba was feeding the ladies section. I could see his back, and I was just under, is he intent? Is he something? Like I was trying to think like that. Then he turned around and quickly came in front of me, and he says,
Sairam, dear listeners, welcome to Sai SOUL 100. Our guest today is Sister Mala Saxena, who's joining us from Stony Brook, Long Island, New York. So Sairam, Sister Mala, thank you for joining Sai SOUL 100.
Sairam, Pirava, thank you for having me.
Sairam, please share your
Sairam,
story.
Sairam. Well, Pirava, I had seen Swami's picture on an LP, long playing record. I got from a music store. Somebody had told me there is very nice bhajans on that store, so I'd gotten that. That was the only picture that I had seen. Then I had started going to one gentleman's home where he conducted this Sai Center bhajans every Thursday, and then I saw a big picture, long picture of Baba on a pillar in his home. That's all I had seen. had not heard Baba with my like really with my ears or anything. That's all I had seen, a picture. So this, and then in 1971, 72, I happened to go to Rajamandri, which is Vishakhapatnam, South India. And I really had liked his singing, and that really motivated. I wanted to hear more. And my parents were not very inclined to let me go. It was very painful for me to persuade them. And however, when I did go over there, it was a 4-day journey. And as soon as we were like booked up in a hostel, a girls' women's hostel, that evening, Baba was supposed to come and give darshan. So wanted to stand very close to the gates. It was like 10, 12 feet away from the gates. The gate at that time was partly open, and I saw that Baba was bending down, feeding beggars, not even entering right away, but feeding beggars outside. And the lepers were there, and he was like touching them. And I was little moved because I come from a Western school missionary, and so I'd read about Jesus, and I really had a lot of respect for him, and that he would touch lepers. But at that moment when Baba touched them or blessed them, it was not really going into my head. But I had already seen one of his miracles. So, and then Baba entered, and as soon as he entered, he started giving vibhuti to a gentleman right by the gate. And as he was giving vibhuti, he turned around and looked at me, and then turned around and rolled up his sleeve, and a shower of vibhuti fell on the gentleman's hand. Still, it didn't make sense to me because people talked about something, but it was very new to me. Then he went past by me, and he was again like 12 feet away from me. And I thought, let me go quickly run, touch his feet. As I went behind him, he turned around and he says, Abhinay, Abhinay, and that too in Hindi, which is my language. It means in Hindi, Abhi means now, Nahi means no. I'll do it, but come do it later on, touching his feet. So I just was okay, okay, if that's okay with me, with him, no problem. The very next day, no, the same night, people were being fed, and lots and like 1,500 people, more than that, were being fed, and the feeding was going on till 9:30 in the night. And that's the time usually I think people retire in the ashram. It was a Gurukul ashram. So I was thinking Baba would leave everybody and go. No, he was there, feeding, feeding, feeding. and the crowd was becoming less and people were going away. Some of his Sevadal people came and said, Baba, enough, no more rations, no more rations. And he says, no, 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 cupboard, cupboard. That's all what I heard, I'm telling you. So he says, cupboard. And he said, no, Swami, we've seen there's no more. Stop feeding now. He said, no. That's, I was very, actually, I had seen Jesus' second miracle. And I was not registering that this was what I wanted to see. Somebody would, there's some miracle in the Bible that says feeding of the poor and the multitude of 5 loaves and 10 fishes only. So how could Jesus feed so many on the basis? So I had seen this. On the last day, there was an aisle, uh, and Baba was always used to walk on this aisle with 2 rows. The people were sitting on either side of the aisle, and maybe my turn came, my aisle's turn came, and he came and just stood in front of me, and he lifted his skirt a little bit so I could see his toes, and he says, "Up karega, like do it now." I mean, normally I would say, "Kya? What are you asking me?" But I don't know what happened. I understood the language, kind of. He's speaking my language, but I understood he meant, "You can now touch my feet." He did not move, it seems, because when he did go away and I had lifted my head and he had gone, I had the bunch of women yelling at me saying, shouldn't have stopped him. He, there are other people also, and why did you keep your head for this long? I really don't know, Peruva, why I don't know. And Baba did not move. So I don't know what happened. I don't know, but I was in a very beautiful dimension that I've never actually felt later on. It was a nice place that some kind of a very quiet, blissful place. But that was just an experience that I had to analyze later on. And this went on. I, I got a notice from the ashram saying that anybody who can write an essay will be selected for the summer course in Brindavanam, Whitefield. So anything that you spiritual writing that is, my brother had not been there, and my Sai sister Sarla who lives in Connecticut, she and my brother were classmates, and they were finished wanting to finish masters, and they were very reluctant to go to the ashram. My brother just said, I've come here to escort you, I'm not interested, I'll drop you and go back. And Sarla, her father was a state president and pushing her to go to Baba. She didn't want to go to Baba. She, at that time, she felt, my father is pushing me. I don't want. She was a motherless child. Since childhood, she had not seen her mother. So, and she didn't like her father pushing her. But once I landed over there, uh, I found out that only selected students were going to get the accommodation. I was a professor. I was teaching chemistry, and there was another girl from another college. She was also a professor. Her name was Prabha. So Prabha and I did not get accommodation there. My brother got it. The disbelieving ones, those two, got the accommodations. We didn't, but we did not mind because we had some income, some little income that we can afford a lodging somewhere. These were students who wrote nice essays. I don't know how they were selected. Okay. So, and I was passing by, and there were posters attached to different pillars in the pandal. And I thought, let me read one of them. And as I was reading, it says, I'm in your intent. I don't know, it clicked with me, like, at least now I can know where God lives. It's in your intent. So nobody tells me, my mother doesn't tell me, nobody can tell me where he is, but he's making it very simple. It is in your intent. So I just like the literariness of that utterance. As I was going away from that poster, 4 boys came running and said, Swami is calling you. I had a suitcase, I didn't care. I don't know. I just followed the boys, and Baba was feeding in the night. He was feeding the ladies section, and his back was turned. I mean, I could see his back, and I was just wondering, is he intent? Is he something? Like, I was trying to think like that. Then he turned around and quickly came in front of me, and he says, "Brother, where is brother?" I said, "He's already in." Ah, can't herega means where will you stay? I said, "Railway station." And now railway station. यहीं ठहरेगा, you'll stay here for the night में यहीं रहेगा, tomorrow morning, I mean, he will say something in the morning. So the next day, I was trying to leave the ashram and go out of the gates, and Baba was like very, very far. He was like 20 plus feet away from me, being escorted by four volunteer Sevadal people. He was supposed to go out of the gates and probably feed the poor or something, some kind of work that he was very far away from me. So I thought, let me not leave just now, let him pass, let him go away. But he came almost in speed towards me, and is saying nahi jayega, not going outside means bar nahi jayega, bar nahi jayega. So I just stood blank. I don't know what happened to me. I don't respond like I would have responded. I would have said, what do you mean? I would nothing. I was just looking, and yahi ठहरेगा, yahi ठहरेगा, you'll stay here. And I just looked at him, that he doesn't know that I'm not selected I'm not the selected person. He doesn't know, maybe. He says, summer course, yahi rahega, yahi rahega. Then Parva pinched me from behind and says, ask for the badge. Because badge is one thing that was given which allowed you to attend all courses, yoga, meditation, kundalini. Samuel Sandweiss was there, Howard Murphy was there. I could have, I mean, I could have availed of those things, but when she said badge, I didn't know. If she had noticed that a badge was necessary, I hadn't. So I said, Swami badge. No badge. Swami's grace. That's what he said. Still, I didn't register how deep this would turn out. But one thing very beautiful was, I was probably the only one who attended everything, Upanishads, Vedas classes, or anything, the whole day, and the evening Baba's bhajans without a badge. I could go to the cafeteria, where otherwise everybody, those Sevadal people, were noticing who has a badge, who doesn't have a badge. But it like KG people just knew that I should be let go, allowed to go anywhere. I was all over. Nobody stopped me for anything. Not that I was happy or grateful. Nothing. I didn't even feel grateful. I don't know. No badge means I can go anywhere. Anyway, having enjoyed all the beautiful lectures of the daytime, all day beautiful, and geography, art, space and physics, and my own subject, chemistry, you name, I was like getting educated and educated and educated to the degree that I was very satisfied from my trip. And one day, that I was seated in the crowd, no, we were supposed to attend Baba's lectures, discourse in the evening. So I found a very nice place in the front. One beautiful day that I got the seat, I'm going to sit down, where women just come and push me very, very strongly. Ara, 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 whatever they said, I didn't understand the language, but I thought, I better go away from here. I gave up my seat, and Baba comes from this side, near the dais where he stands and talks. So I left, and I just remembered one thing, that I heard my mother, when the Vaikuntha doors are open, people will rush in. Let them rush in, kind of. So I was thinking, did I do something good? Yeah, let them go. Let them attend. Let them enter Vaikuntha. And even if I'm thrown out of the gates or left out at the gates, I'll be so happy. At least everybody was in and safe and sound. I had very beautiful, pure thought at that moment. And I did not regret having sacrificed the seat. So I was seated behind, and all behind me were dogs. that the foreigners brought with them, and they were roaming. And I mean, I was so far behind. And then the music was playing on the mic, and suddenly I saw Baba come and again stand, walk past me and stop there. I didn't make much of it. It didn't mean like, it didn't mean great or something at that time. So he turned around. But the strange thing was, Baba never used to come from behind. He used to come from the front, always. And now there was a time when my brother and Sarla started telling me, we've had enough, we are going back. He just comes and goes past by us, and we stretch our hands. I said, no, no, please stay, don't go back. I'll be alone, and then her father will be very upset. I tried to persuade them, no, 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 we are going, our exams are going on. We'll start very soon in UP. I said, okay, I'll try to talk to Baba about it. The next day, Baba was in a place where all men were gathered around him having breakfast. I didn't think that I'm not allowed to go there, or I should not go. It didn't occur to me. I said, Baba, Swami, Baba, my brother wants to go back to I couldn't finish my sentence. And he says, afternoon mail, afternoon mail. Again, those cryptic things, you know. So I went out. I thought he didn't listen to me, probably. He doesn't know what I'm saying. I'm talking about my brother having to take exams. And you know, I had nothing nice to tell Sarla that day, that I saw Baba and he gave me an answer, nothing. I didn't say anything to her. But later, I saw Sarla bringing a postcard from Kanpur and smiling. UP exams postponed because of statewide strike. There was, and she's smiling. I had not seen her smiling. She was used to be very angry, like even with Baba, you know, like nobody was talking to my brother and Sarla. She found time at lunchtime to tell my brother. So they got a chance to stay in the full summer and attend the full summer course, which delighted them at the end. Anyway, then one day I wanted to see Baba's mother, and somebody said that's Baba's mother. And I looked at her. I said, okay, God has mother too. You know, I was like very analytical. Okay, Godman has mother. Seen the mother. The next in the next 2 days, I heard that she passed away. And I thought Baba will not come today because he shouldn't come. That's cremation time. He shouldn't come. And like I'm judging Baba. And there is Baba who came. Baba came and gave a discourse. And I was thinking he should not have come. Mother died, should no coming. That was my way of thinking. So he's replied to my question. He said, my mother is with me. To the whole, to the crowd, you know, he said, my mother is with me. And he touched she's with me. And he didn't talk anything more about cremation or any else. Then he continued his usual discourse. I was pleased that he had risen to a level where death and life mean the same thing. He was a very evolved person. I didn't I didn't perceive that, oh, whatever, this is God Himself, or nothing like that. On the last day, we were progressing in this summer course. My brother told me he has a picture of Baba, which and another a friend of his says, oh, I have a pen. If only Baba could just touch my pen. My brother said, I'm waiting for him to touch my picture or something. And the third person says, oh, if Baba comes to my house every Thursday or some day, you give it to me, I'll get it signed. You know, give me your picture, give me your pen, I'll get it signed. And Baba passes by him again. Then, maybe just before leaving the ashram, Baba is passing by them, and he takes my brother's picture and takes the pen from the other guy and signs it and tells the other guy, I'm not your family property. It's like anybody having that pride that Baba comes to my house. This is didn't happen in front of me. My brother told me, but it left little marks of belief, that we should believe, kind of thing. So this was like omniscience, omnipotence, which I'm coming to, and omnipresence. He could be present anywhere. I hadn't read much about it, but then when I later on read, then I knew what was happening with me. So this happened, and then on the last day, when we were no, there was a valedictorian function happening, and it was a very, very hot day, and people were sweating, and Baba was giving the prizes. I was very far. All I could hear was the microphone. I couldn't see him, and I only heard something like this, like the students were saying yes, yes, and the thing was, do you want rain? That came to me later. The Baba's asking, do you want rain? The people telling it, and the boys were saying, screaming and saying, yeah, Baba, yeah, and within minutes, heavy downpour on a very hot sunny day, heavy downpour. Our saris got wet very badly, and we didn't know how to go back. There was a question, how will we go back? My goodness, this has happened. Okay. Then in a little while, do you want to dry up or something? That Baba said. I didn't hear what he said, but the people said, yeah, yeah, yeah. There was a lot of cool wind blowing, and our saris dried up in 5 minutes, and we felt comfortable to go back to our quarters, but still thinking, how could it have happened? That was like real omnipotence, you know, which I read about much later. That power to create, it's immense. On Now, on the last day, when we were leaving suitcase, and all the women were waiting for the bus to leave the ashram, and we'd already said namaskaram to Baba in that valedictorian function. So, and Sarla, I said, isn't that nice? Did you like the summer course? Yeah, it was nice. But he didn't talk to me. He talked to others. I felt sorry for her. She says, I don't have a mother. He just didn't talk to me. Um, I was really very, very sad for her. I was just thinking of Baba, how he talked to me, and I felt for her. It was time to leave the ashram. Baba came to her, s- said something which I didn't hear. He said something to her, and I don't know where he went. Because I went to Sarla, what did Baba say? What did Baba say? She said, he says, Swami is your mother. She became very elated. And so we came back to my town, and from there on, we like became somewhat of devotees. Our, my parents didn't have anything harsh for me to say, harsh to say to me, and their whole attitude changed. I mean, they were so against my rebellious nature at that time. That was only for going to Baba, and I found my parents were transformed. Have they gone crazy? They are not the same people anymore. So this also came to me much later. I was assembling. When I came to this country, I was thinking about all those happenings, and I, I started reading books. I had not read many books about on Baba, but I started reading here in Stony Brook, and I was reading about omniscience, omnipotence, and omnipresence, and I'd seen all of this happening around me.
Sairam, Sister Mala, thank you for sharing your stories. It started with you stumbling across Swami and seeing Swami behave in the manner that Jesus would have behaved. You saw Jesus in Swami, and that's a miracle. And you didn't realize that Swami was God at that time, right? Even in fact, all of your experiences that you had mentioned, you just took it for what it is. you were witnessing so many things, you were blessed with so many things, but you didn't realize the extent of it until much later. And it was very, very touching to hear Sister Sarala's experience of that whole entire month, wishing, yearning, being saddened, and to an extent angry too, right? About the fact that Swami is not talking to her, saying, I never grew up with a mother. And Swami to read the heart at that time to come and say, I'm your mother. Swami is just so ever loving, ever loving. And I think your purest of heart, although you made it sound like you're quite rebellious, okay? But Swami loved that rebelliousness and somehow went along and changed your parents so that you can be his true devotee with also satisfying your parents. Because Swami said parents needs to be happy when you're doing something. Now you can do what you need to do or what he wants you to do with your parents also being happy. And I love the fact that you said Swami lives in your intent. That's a powerful statement. I've never heard that before. Swami lives in your intent.
To this day, that sentence stays very strong with me. So I have to change my intent, my feelings towards people. I'm watching my brain. Many, many times I watch, hey Mala, getting angry with somebody, hey Mala, you're hating that person. So it's all my intent is always shifting. So that is the area where I am, even at my age of 74, I'm still working on it.
And also he controls the weather.
Hot.
For our own comfort. Sairam, Sister Mala, thank you for joining Sai Soul 100.
Sairam.
Sairam, dear listeners, thank you for listening to Sai Soul 100 with Sister Mala Saxena. I'm Prabha Swaminathan. Until next time, Jai Sairam.